Imagine a high school quarterback, big, strong, built like that future D1 athlete. But when the game's really on the line, the crowd's roaring, he's freezing. And it's not because he's not skilled, but because no one ever taught him what to really do with the fear, with the pressure, with the weight of the expectation. Or picture a 13-year-old soccer girl, right? Crying after the game, not because they lost, but because she feels like she's never going to be good enough. Her coach tells her, toughen up, man. We toughen them up. Her parents tell her, just shake it off a little bit. You'll be okay. But no one tells her how to actually do that. And this episode is for every athlete who's been training in the gym, on the field, and in the film room, but never in the mental game. It's time to really change this. Hey, y'all, welcome to the Mental Performance Playbook, where we're breaking down those elite mental strategies and delivering them in those actionable exercises that we can then apply immediately. My name is Gabe Rummel, mental performance coach, founder of The Athlete's Health, and creator of its Phrenomic Gym, its Performance Institute, where we train your mind just like we train your body. Each week, we focus on a mental performance theme that helps the athlete, the coach, or the parent with these practical tools, exercises to build that stronger focus, resilience, confidence. And this week's theme is the silent edge and why mental training is not optional anymore. And that pre-story, I have seen it firsthand as I have talked to different coaches or parents and athletes, and some on the maybe better side and some on the other side where, we toughen them up. I've been at this game for 30 years. We toughen them up. I think that's all I got for you. I'm like, all right, coach, have fun with your program. Let's dive in to why mental training is not optional anymore. We're going to have 5 kind of categories. We're going to go into some of the more mental health side of it, but steer ourselves back to the mental training, mental exercises, and ways that we can adapt these right here, right now. And the first thing is I want to talk the burliness mask. Right? I've been talking to a lot of coaches, a lot of trainers here recently. This is one thing that we commonly see among male and female athletes, right? We think or we do so much strong stuff, talented athletes, and they look strong, right? And they shouldn't crumble under the pressure, but they still do. And here's just a quick little stats for you. And I have the sources here. I'm just going to list them off too as I read just the stat pieces. But 79% of suicides are male. Yet men are much less likely to seek mental health. That's from NIH 2020. Little old, all these studies, just like in the nutritional realm and the exercise realm, come out every 5 years or so. So they're going to be out here very soon. And I was talking to, shout out to Ethan Miller. I need to highlight that because he was recently dropped some of this on me and a few other coaches locally in the area who really kind of got me going even down this avenue some more. So back to this, many male athletes, and you'll see this across the board and females too, all right? And we're going to talk about female athletes here as well, but they mask the sadness and the anger or aggression. And that's from Blue Cross Blue Shield 2022. We don't want to think about it in that way. So then we're going to now just show it as anger and aggression and sadness. We're not going to use it all. And, it's hard, right? But this is why we need to have some real talk reps. And it's 3 emotions. Emotions are just energy in motion. We have to get that energy out some way, somehow, some shape, some form. Otherwise, it's just going to stay in motion inside of us. And that maybe will motion us up in some bad ways, right? We need to get the emotion out of how we're feeling during the last game. Maybe this is telling it to someone else, or maybe it's writing it down ourselves. But then we can identify literally in our body, and I got a reason for this, where we felt each one of them. Maybe it's in the shoulder, maybe it's in the chest, maybe it's in the leg, right? We can name this, but we can put a specific spot on it where we're feeling that emotion, right? I know for me, if it's like anger or something, it's probably my leg, so I can get a big kick, big jump out of it. But this is going to build awareness. It's going to create this mental map and a game day state. It's going to allow us to see where certain areas are in certain things that we're going to have come across. And I'm also going to be diving into different quotes here of some different athletes and across the board of where they have really implemented and used and brought forth some of these topics. For instance, Serena Williams in the clutchest moments, this is from Performance Psychology Center, she would use mental performance strategies to manage that anxiety. She would understand these emotions, see where they're at, and then crush them, hit them, get out of it, and put it in motion. Number two, I want to implement this 6-minute shift. And these are those micro wins for the micro wins, macro outcomes. And you might think 6 minutes, 5 minutes, right? Mental work. That's all I need. I got to be in the gym for 45 minutes. I got to be at practice for an hour and a half. If I do this for 6 minutes, it can actually improve performance. Yes, the smallest little pieces can really help us evolve. Certain runners are going to shave 14 seconds off mile with just a mental cue, just a trust word, and repeating this. But it's built up through those small incremental times of the mental training around it. That's from Evolve New York. Another example is mindfulness actions and work and training boosted a 13-year-old's attention and multitasking skills. Now we're talking outside. That's from University of Miami, but we're talking outside of just the sport specific realm, because it does cross. And this is what some of my athletes are currently seeing right now, where we can implement things in the school system, in just what we're doing in our daily life, and see how that then is going to go into our baseball or our softball or our soccer or our basketball or any other sport that we are talking about. It's going to make a huge difference. Set a 6-minute timer or a 3-minute timer and just spend 3 minutes. Just sit in that room. Look at that TikTok video that you're scrolling through. 3 minutes. Yeah, it goes up to 3 minutes now, I'm pretty sure. Turn off the phone, 3-minute timer. Visualize the perfect performance, right? Just walk through the senses, walk through the steps that you're taking, walk through it, and we will get through the 3 minutes just like that. It might take a couple times. You might only be able to do it for the 10 seconds at a time, 30 seconds, then a minute and a half. But slowly but surely, we'll be able to build it up. And that is one of the key things that we can do with this one. Then have the other 3 minutes be of journey, be writing down, of looking back, of seeing what went well, what could be improved, what are some small reps, some big gains that we got going on, what are the things that we can implement here through that 3 minutes of walking through it in our head, that we are preparing ourselves for when the game comes. Okay, because the mental side of it is there. It's scary, right? It can be bad sometimes. Substance abuse, everything else. We're looking for these quick ways out, the TikToks, everything. 3 minutes of visualizing it, of just walking through for yourself and what you're going to do and what you can do. And then 3 more minutes of journaling of what you just saw, of what you're going to be doing, of what you could improve. Number 3 is now we're talking about the team mind advantage. You are stronger together, and this will be for any sport, even if it's golf, where you are kind of the only person in that spot, and you have your other teammates on the team, but it's you swinging the club and you hitting the ball in the hole every time. Okay, it's something more powerful than practice, though, and it's the mindset you're bringing to it. We have to bring the mindset to practice and to the games and to our performances. Team sport participation is linked to 19% lower depressive symptoms in youth. That's from evidence-based monitoring in 2022. The youth athlete rate, if you're a youth athlete, the rate of better mental health in adulthood skyrockets. That was a recent study in 2024. And it's because we're finding all these ways to get through the problems, because especially like on the golf team or on the tennis team or on the volleyball team or anything else where the things are going to happen to us, we then have to problem solve and learn how to get through it. Now, if we have the good team, if we have the good coach, we can learn how to handle the situations together and be as a unit, be as a team, and keep getting through it. It is more powerful than the simple practice. We're implementing the little mindset shifts, tips, and tricks to it. That is why for this third one, I just want us to think about having that team. Who is the team that we are working with? Where is the team? And it does not just have to be our actual team and teammates, but it can be the team and everything else in the classroom, in the life, back at home. You name it, you can build that team. And that team is very, very important. Now, if we want to look into this a little bit more, just use a squad mindset check-in, right? The squad before practice huddle up fast. You see them on the TV, on the basketball games. They're thinking together. They're getting together. They're planning it out fast. On the soccer, on the volleyball, they're huddling up super quick. They're gathering each other, getting back to the level that we need to be in to play. And each teammate can share a focus word, just that cue, right? Phrase for the day, for the practice, for the game. Build the emotional safety, the connected energy, build up together, make the energy, turn it in motion, emotion, energy in motion, and bring forth that best desired outcome that we're looking for, both in game, out game, in life, out life, and in our overall performance. The fourth thing I want to talk about is actually the coach here and what you can find and who you can be, but it's resilience by design, right? And it's the coach's secret weapon, because what kind of coaching actually strengthens kids mentally? This is something that I feel like maybe we miss out on, or we don't think about this as much. We don't highlight it as much. But I have a couple different types of coaching here that actually really do help. And it's that supportive, it's the autonomy, those type of coaches that foster the optimism, the resilience, the emotional strength. They bring it all together. I was just listening to Coach K and how he would never even use a whistle. So then they would respond to the voice. They were more as one. But there was at one point when they're going to win their first championship under Coach K at Duke, and he chewed them out so much. But then he already had built the autonomy, the supportiveness throughout the team. And he said, go home. He went to the locker room for 5 minutes. He came back out, or he went to his small office in the locker room, came back out to the locker room. No one was there. So he thought maybe they did go home. He went to the locker room. He saw something unbeknownst to him. He saw the team lined up in a circle on the half court line with a look in their eye, more determined than ever to win that national championship. And that was the last game they had. They just came off of a really good game where they just won, and they were boastful, and they were getting a little egotistical, and he wanted to bring them back to the edge, but he didn't know that, but that was going to be the outcome. But he had the autonomy support of coaching. He was the coach with them. He was building the relationships, and that's what we can do here. And also, it's a little bit harder to do, but we are starting to see this more and more with the trauma-informed coaching, where we're training the emotional safety, the enhancement of it. I've talked to many, many coaches where they say, yeah, we have to be more careful of it. Maybe for guys, we don't have to do as much, but for girls, we most definitely do. And for guys, we have to now too, because then there's just so many different avenues that the athletics are evolving into, as we can go into D3 and have NIL now and everything else of where we want to take what we want to do in athletics and our performance for life as well. So if we need to think about this, and if we are a player and we want to help coach up some of our team or anything else, but instead of telling, try what do we think would help us refocus right now? Spark the autonomy, the building it together, the athlete agency. They are going to give the input, get the input from other people, build it up, see what can happen, what we can make happen, and what can evolve by bringing the autonomy in it together, bringing everyone together. And then lastly here, just the ROI on the mental training, the investment that pays off literally everywhere. That Evolve New York, it's 5 times return on investment spent on the mental performance training. Athletes develop the sharper focus, stress control, confidence, faster decision making by Performance Psychology Center. When we work on the mental side, we can truly level up our games. Olympians credit 90% of their outcome partly to some mental performance coaching success that they have had. This is the control the corner technique, right? Draw 2 circles. Just what can I control? What can I not control? Stay in the controlled area. Okay, Tom Brady was a master at this. He mastered this over time, staying in the controlled area. Refocus on only the first circle, because it really does just come back to the mental side and the training of, okay, what can we actually control here and what do we not have control over? If we're getting under the squat rack and we have no way of squatting 405 right now, but we can control if we do the X many reps of 225, then we know we are working on what we can do to get there. This is often something that we need reminded of. I just want to make sure we know that mental training is not really nice to have anymore. The mental health rates just keep skyrocketing, and it's not a good thing. This is a non-negotiable now, whether it is the youth athlete building confidence, if it's the teen learning to manage the pressure, the coach creating a safe space. We're training the mind to unlock the potential and really level up where we are going and what we are able to do under the pressure, because we can do it in practice, but when the moment really comes and when the lights really shine, it's can we do it? We need to stop treating the mental game like a luxury and really start repping it out like a muscle. Now, have you found today's episode insightful? Imagine what consistent mental reps, check-ins, trainings can do for your game. Check us out, The Athlete's Health, our Phenoic Gym, our Performance Institute. My name's Gabe Rummel, but ultimately, hopefully you see a little bit more of the awareness, the need for the mental side of the training, in addition to all the physical stuff that they need to do, that we need to do as well. Catch you next week. Peace.